remove that piece of information and check something on a multiple choice test. If anyone asks you a complex question about their reading selection, you don't know what they're talking about. They can answer factual questions, but they can't answer questions that ask them to gauge the significance or the relationship of characters. Anything that requires what we might call higher order thinking, they can't answer. They can retrieve bits of information and check it off on a checklist. A portion of their brains had been removed. How? By increasing the frequency of these tests from first grade on to the point where what passed for an education was doing well on these tests, and maybe in a secondary sense, getting a pat on the head from the teacher, having the teacher call your little hand and wiggle in the air and feel somebody else's there. But nothing replaced doing well on those tests. So, as anybody with a good mind would do, even if they're not sure what's going on, they deduce the right strategy to follow. Why waste your time reflecting on things when you're only going to be asked these 6 or 7 kinds of information over and over and over again, right through college? And if you do well, your parents and other people, authorities tell you, well, there are places reserved for you, and eventually a place is reserved in medical school. Darwin says it's ordained by biology. You can't escape the slot you're put in, and if you try to escape, you'll pollute the person in the upper rank. They won't drag you up, you'll drag them down, and eventually, if enough people do that, all history will reverse itself, march backward, and it's already happening in Ireland. You didn't like the art. Among the ways that's done is to stratify very strictly schooling, to keep kids in schooling long enough that their ties to other forms of strength, their community, their tradition, their parents, or older brother, are so weakened that the authority, first in the form of a school teacher and a principal, and then in the form of all the voices that give orders, the people don't know how to bulk authority. And you show them enough examples of people whose lives were destroyed by doing that, that fear is the fuel that runs the evolutionarily retarded, keeping themselves in place forever. Now, this case is presented. It's not presented as succinctly as I said. You put this together like a mosaic from this event and that event and this event that doesn't, no one of which seem to make any sense. It's when they're all together and seen as a way to order the management of the human race and make it predictable, then you see that it's a tool of management theory, that some people learn to do higher order numbers and higher order literacies is necessary. Those people will be, if they're behaving themselves, they'll be vested with transmitting this to the next generation. But that most of us must be kept ignorant of the plan, addicted to punching buttons or watching television, addicted to our simple pleasures of pizza and a gallon of beer, and then we go to sleep and wake up and we punch buttons, is necessary to manage the kind of economy that these people created.